Greetings, fellow Salt and Saucers, and welcome to another video on solo RPGs. Today I want to talk to you about Be Like a Crow, which is a journaling solo RPG by Tim Roberts, in which you get to be, well, a crow. Or more accurately, a corvid, which is a member of the passerine bird family, which includes crows, magpies, jays, ravens, rooks, and jackdaws. In this game, you are not actually playing as an anthropomorphic bird, you're actually just a regular bird. However, this game has you walk through different life cycles of the bird. So you start off as a fledgling, then after completing 2 objectives, you become a juvenile. Then after 4 objectives, you are an adult. And after the adult, 6 objectives gets you into the old crow category. This is basically the leveling up system of the game. So after a set number of objectives, you get to improve your skills and advance your crow from a mechanical perspective. The cool thing about this game, actually there's many cool things about this game, but one that I particularly enjoy, other than of course being able to be a different kind of bird, and each type of bird, so from raven to rooks, have their different sort of sets and characteristics, is actually the setting, which is not one setting, it is the player chooses the setting. So you could be a urban crow, so living in a modern day city. You could be a cyber crow, so more of a cyberpunk setting. You could be a gothic crow, so more of an horror setting crow. Fantasy crow speaks for itself. Clockwork crow, so steampunk setting. Or Ravens of the Tower, which is more of a, like, I'll say 1800s London type crow. Each of these settings come with a map, which you can get online. So for the purpose of demonstration here, I'll show you the Clockwork map, crow map. So this is the map for the steampunk universe. So in this universe, I was playing as a magpie. I grew up in a market. My nest was destroyed. I was going to go to the abandoned expo by the watchmaker district to build a new nest. And on the way there, I encountered various adventures. It's a little harder to see here, but as you can tell, it's a bit of a hex map overlaid with an actual map. So basically, the crow can fly from one X to another, can't hop because that's too far. And there's some rules about travel. So basically, every time I fly from one X to another, I need to have a flying encounter. If I land, I need 2 land encounters before flying up again. And I'll show you how the encounters work. It's actually pretty cool. But that's basically it. So this is like the Clockwork map. They're all actually quite thematic. So you print a map for the setting. The setting you choose also gives your birds specific skills advantage. So for example, if we go back to my Clockwork, as a juvenile, the airship engineer befriends you, gives you the following from his scrap pile. So I start with steam-powered wings. So I add 1 tick to fly, dive bomb, and evade skill. Monocle. I can add 1 tick to my search skill, and additionally, as a juvenile, I may add 1 extra tick to any 2 skills. So that'd be when I make it to juvenile. When I just start off as a fledgling, then my navigation checks are made with a penalty because I haven't really gone around the world yet. However, as you're small and hard to target, all evade checks are made with authority. So that's what it is. And just to show you the character sheet, because I think that's very helpful in sort of getting the hang of the game. So again, you have the life cycle stage, name, the setting you choose, the species of bird. This is to track injuries. You can do little pictures, get description. Mechanically, this is where it's at. So you basically tick a number of boxes for the skills that you have. You would underline the one you can do with authority. So for example, as per we just read right now, evade, which is how you can escape combat. I could underline evade to remember that when I roll, or I say roll, this game actually runs on a deck of cards. So as I flip, I guess, for evade, I can do it with authority. And I'll show you how the checks work in just a minute. So that's the game. So basically what happens is you start off making your crow, choosing both the species, which, I don't know if species work out, but a kind of corvid that you are. And then you would take, making your particular bird, you would take any things that apply, you would take the ones that are applicable to your settings, and the first thing you would do is create an objective. And the objectives are sorted out again by settings. So you can tell that the prompt table for this game are sorted out based on the the settings you choose. So these are the Cyber Crow objectives, objects, sorry. And we have Gothic Crow. So it's kind of cool how the prompts really do match the setting you're choosing. So if we go to Clockwork Prompts, for example, here we go. So here, for example, for my magpie, this was the first objective I rolled. Your nest has been destroyed by character. Try to find a new location to build a new nest. You've heard a good spot in location. So whenever something's in bracket like this, it refers you to the specific table. So you see you have a clockwork object, and then up, character. So then what would happen is I would start off with drawing a card for the setting here. So say my objective, that was a 9, I think I just pulled, and then it refers me to an object. So say that I draw this king here. Here you go. It'd be a watchmaker. So then my nest would have been destroyed by a watchmaker. This refers to the watchmaker's fighting skills. So we'll circle back to that in a moment. And I have to build my nest in a new location. I will draw a ace clubs, which is a steam-powered submarine. That's quite the place to build a new nest, but I guess there's probably no watchmakers there. So as you can see, both the location and the characters are thematic to a steampunk type setting. So once I have to do this, then I would start traveling towards the steampunk submarine. So I would probably want to put it, I don't know. I mean, this is all an airship, but maybe, so this is clearly a river. So I'm thinking maybe there could be a submarine docked over here somewhere. So maybe that's, I would put my new nest location in this X right here and start flying over there. When you're flying, you generate specific events. The events, technically the event table are generic to all settings, except that they often will refer to objectives or creating objects or objectives. And again, then you would refer to the setting specific ones. So it could be something like you meet an elder of your own species. They have a mission for you. If you accept, you may generate a new objective. That's cool because the more objectives you do, the faster you grow up as a bird. So that's what you would do. Then you would generate a new objective and you can decide in which order you do them. Again, this is very journaling. So it would kind of go the way it goes. Some will have you perform specific checks, so a successful sing or dance. So in that case, you would refer to your sing or dance score. So for example, in my game, I don't think I was a particularly skilled social bird. I'm no good at dancing or singing. So what I would do to do a check, I would draw my card first. And it would be a 2, that's bodes very poorly. And I would have to beat the test score, which in this case is an 8. That said, if I'm drawing with authority, then I would draw 2 cards. 1, 2. I would choose the highest, in this case it would be a queen, to beat the 2. So I would have succeeded. In addition, these little ticky here would give me extra points. So if I draw, for example, a 7, for a befriend skill, then it would go up to a 9. So this card is actually worth 9, which is still not enough to beat this king. So that's how checks are done. Combats are run pretty much the same way. Each opponent has 3 numbers. I think I've shown them to you in the character setting, but say I want to fight a steam-powered robot. These 3 numbers, and there's a little reminder at the top of the page, tells you that when they flip a card, they get +1. So it's as if they had like 1 skill point in combat. So if they were attacking first and they drew a jack, it would count as a queen and I would have to beat that, which I would not do. In this case, because I fail, I would see how many damage I take, which is the point here. So I would take 1 damage from this. And the middle number actually refers to the opponent's health. So I would have to do 3 damages to defeat them. So that's what it is. I mean, you don't have to win in combat in many ways. Like sometimes you do because of if you want a reward from a specific prompt or something. But generally speaking, your progression as a crow has to do with completing objective, not necessarily combat. which I enjoy because it actually gives you a lot of options to face these challenges, and you have a lot of leeway. Again, it's a journaling game, right? So it's sort of a story first, mechanic second. But these mechanics give you a lot of ideas of how you can approach different challenges. So I think at one point I had to retrieve a vial from a mouse that had stolen it. And so I was working on that. And at first I did a dive bomb, which as a magpie, it was actually really, well, I was pretty good at because I'm doing it with advantage and I have an extra tick. And I managed to do 1 damage to the mouse. But like I'm a little fledgling and I was feeling kind of not happy about this. So I decided instead of trying to do another dive bomb and basically kill it, I would try to scare it instead and see if the mouse would just hand over the vial. So this is sort of how the story can go, right? Like you can approach it different ways. Again, specific prompts will say that you have to perform specific skill checks. But generally speaking, there's a lot of options in how you approach different situation. So that's basically it on how to play Be Like a Crow. You have a deck of cards, you choose your bird, you choose your setting, you get different advantages. You just try to sort of grow up as and be the best crow you can be. It's a fun game. Again, I really enjoy the variety in the prompts because a lot of journaling games, you play them once and you've seen so many of the prompts that, in this case, even if you hit the same flight event or land events, if you have a different settings, you have completely different items you can find, different adventure types you can have. It does bring about a very different feel. So anyway, if you're into journaling games, if you always want to know what it was like to be like a crow in any kind of setting, I would argue, this is a game that I would recommend for you. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.